100 new diecast cars competing for excellence in the junkyard. Hi everybody, welcome to the Junkyard Joust. This is the minor leagues. We've got 20 teams with new lineups, and we're going to do it 5 at a time. Let's take a look at the first 5 teams starting us off. The Pace Notes, a team of rally vehicles. Shining Steel going with a convertible theme this time around. Here is Jet Streak. They've been to the finals, but they decided to create an experimental team to try out in the minor leagues. Shorties, a team whose name is self-explanatory. And the ever-tragic Magic Kingdom. They've been in the minor leagues before. And now we joust round 1. The way this works is at the end of each round, the teams will get points for all their surviving vehicles. Then they'll reset and do it again. At the end of the 4th round, we'll add up the points. And by the end of this video, we'll know which teams are gonna move on to the big leagues. No eliminations so far. That's good news for these teams. At the end of this, the top 5 teams in points are going to move on. Nice recovery there for Jet Streak. That team working so far. Ooh, the Shorty Silverado goes tumbling through the sky. And look at that, it actually made a recovery. Still no eliminations. First loss of this round is going to be for the Pace Notes. Every car lost is a point down the drain. Big hit by Airport Rescue. We've seen this thing before. It is always fun to watch. No eliminations though on that hit. Better luck here for the Pace Notes. That car surviving a hit from the Shorties, and it drives off to safety. Ooh, you hate to see it. One of the convertibles for Shining Steel taking out one of its own teammates. That's no good. And here we've got a double takedown for Pace Notes. Airport Shuttle knocked out, and that truck for Magic Kingdom goes hurtling over by the Junkyard Joust fans in their Viking longship. Here comes the MCI bus, and as expected, complete havoc. Cars flying everywhere. A powerhouse of a vehicle, but it only succeeds in taking out itself. Tragic Kingdom indeed. Look at that. Baby Cookie even going for a ride. Somehow all 3 of those cars survived. And now the sideways eliminated bus is just being used as a wall. But down the track, Shorties are going to lose one. It flips over on that last hit. A little bit of revenge for Shorties there, taking out one of the Pace Notes. Pace Notes losing a couple cars here. It's no good. Cookie, look out. Shining Steel, we've seen this before. They've been in 3 qualifiers, and they've always had bad luck. That's another one down for them in this first round of the minor leagues. 9 eliminations in round 1. Let's take a look at who's getting points. Jet Streak will pick up 4. Shorties are going to pick up 4. Impressive. Pace Notes get 3. They had 2 eliminations. Magic Kingdom also lost 2. They get 3 points. And Shining Steel had the worst of it. Only 2 points for them. It's going to be a long climb for them. Heading into round 2. Here we go. All the cars are reset. Another chance for all the teams to try to stay alive and get some points. Shorty is already not doing that. That's one down for them. Then they're going to get a little bit of revenge here. Jet Streak is going to lose one of theirs. A little bit of a push and a takedown. But then shortly thereafter, another Shorty gets eliminated. Scrooge McDuck boots it off the track. 3 down. Airport Rescue takes down Scrooge. Scrooge is over sideways. There could be a chance of recovery there. MCI bus, there it goes. Wow, cars just shooting all over the place and balancing in the strangest spots. One of the Shorties does some break dancing over on top of that plane. The bus takes itself out again, takes out one of the Shorties. Scrooge McDuck recovers, and Shining Steel gets lucky there. A nice hit from the baggage cart, but I don't think it got any eliminations there. Good effort. Must be some heavy luggage in those things. Shorty's not having a good time of it in this round. There's a self-elimination, though it could come back. It's still on the track. And that is exactly what happens on that hit. I believe that is Ursula? I don't actually know the names of the cars yet. Waiting to see if they actually make it to the regular joust, but nice recovery there for Shorties. Here's the vehicle for Pace Notes that had a great hit in the first round, but it bounces off of the luggage cart and flips over sideways. Tough loss for Pace Notes, and a loss of a point. 8 eliminations in this second round. Let's see who's going to get those all-important points. Jet Streak scores 4. They are doing pretty good. Pace Notes also get 4. Good round for them. Shining Steel with 4. A little bit of a recovery. And the same for Magic Kingdom. 4. Only the bus. And here is where half the eliminations were. Shorties only scrape up 1 point in that round. That does not bode well for them in the overall points at the end of this. Round 3 is underway. Petey doing some crazy jumping and bouncing and spinning, putting on a great performance. And a nice escape there for the steal. Pace Notes take out the Silverado for Shorties with their starting vehicle. And then a nice recovery for Jetstreak off the back of that Magic Kingdom car. That thing is heavy, by the way, which I think is why that vehicle launched off of it. Little shot there from Airport Rescue, and say goodbye to one of the Pace Notes. That car has been eliminated a couple times now. Teams that make it out of the minor leagues will get to swap one of their vehicles, so if there's one that stands out as no good, they can switch it out. After a self-elim from one of the Shorties, a convertible for Shining Steel comes down with Bob. He goes flying, gets an elimination there, loss for Pace Notes. And then look at this, more tragic behavior from Magic Kingdom as 2 vehicles make a recovery on that hit, but their vehicle self-eliminates. And yet now it looks like it might make a recovery. It's coming back. Big hit there, and that Shorty that was eliminated, then came back, is now eliminated for real. Here comes the humongous smash from the MCI bus. Wow, look at that car with the trailer pop up into the air. It stays alive. And now Airport Rescue is on the ropes. The Pace Notes clobber that baggage cart, knock it off the track. I couldn't see if it survived. It did not. It is flipped over and finished. A better round for all the teams this time, only 5 eliminations total. Magic Kingdom with a solid round, they desperately needed that, 5 points. Shining Steel, can they bring it back? 5 points. Pace Notes, not too shabby, 4. Jetstreak, only 3 in that round, they are not putting it together here. And Shorties got 3. They are certainly finished. Round 4, last chance for the teams to get any points and make it to the main joust. That self-elimination by the Shorties will certainly seal their fate. Wow, a booming hit there, and the plane goes flying into the air along with its tow. Back end of the plane hits a 7, and then it makes that recovery happen. That is important. Jetstreak needs every point. Scrooge McDuck tries to take out one of the Shining Steel and does it. That convertible is toast. They are probably not going to make it out of the minor leagues. Another self-elimination for the Shorties. Man, it's just not their day. The back end of the Magic Kingdom truck flips open, but it stays on the track. Looks like it probably hauls jewelry or something. MCI bus, wow, that is a big hit, and it is devastating. That tiny convertible for Shining Steel hits a 7 before being completely annihilated. It does not survive the hit. Maybe we got a triple takedown there. Loss for Pace Notes, at least. And no, this car for Pace Notes survived, so that's going to be a double takedown for the MCI bus. A hit on one of the other Shining Steel convertibles does not end well. It's toast, and so are they. The luggage cart takes a shot at Ursula, and Ursula makes a nice recovery. That's a good sign for Magic Kingdom if they make it. And that was all the highlights from round 4, 7 eliminations. Can't wait to find out who did the best here. Jetstreak, 5 points, a perfect round for them. Also perfect round for Magic Kingdom. Pace Notes, not too bad, pretty consistent with 4. Shorties are doomed, only 2 points. Same for Shining Steel. First 5 teams on the points board. Magic Kingdom scores 20. They had 3 vehicles that were never eliminated, and that gets them a bonus point for each of them. Pace Notes got 2 bonus points. They'll have 17, along with Jetstreak. Shining Steel and Shorties bottom out the list. So now we head into Heat 2. Competing in this heat will be the Citrus Cyclones, a brand new team from last season. The Big Shots. They've got a money theme going on. Hot Pursuit, one of the notorious teams that got all their cars eliminated in round 1 of a match. A brand new team, Heaven's Tailgate. And Fast Food, one of the more unusual teams on the menu. Here we go, round 1. Let's see if any of these teams can top the scores from the first heat. Hot Pursuit immediately up to their old tricks and elimination right off the bat. Not a good sign. Reminds me of the Blues Brothers movie. A hit from the Cyclone sends Hot Wings up, and it makes a nice recovery. Good sign for that car. Heaven's tailgate already loses the struts. It gets tossed and squeezed out of the track, goes over, out. Fast Food sends down their egg vehicle. It rolls right off the track, looks like it's gonna be out, and then it flips over. That vehicle looks interesting. Joust fans get a good look at it. A Hot Pursuit car survives the takedown attempt from the tailgates. Puss in Boots rattles the line a little bit, but doesn't get any elimination, stays locked in. Then takes a big shot, literally from the big shots, and just about goes over, but makes a nice recovery. Sushi Tuner tries to take down on Hot Pursuit. It recovers, and I think Sushi Tuner does too. Pretty close. I think it's right around 45. It's probably recovered though. Here comes a hit from the Citrus Cyclones, and it doesn't take anything out. Good recoveries all around. So far, a lot of good recoveries. Looks like only about 2 eliminations so far in this round, and that's a great sign for these cars. Oh, there goes a Cyclone. That'll take us up to 3 as the Hamburglar slams that Mustang squad car. Let's see if the Hamburglar can take a hit. It's a nice hit from the tailgates, and the Hamburglar goes over, bounces off the egg, and can't make the recovery stick. Citrus Cyclones have an undercutter, and it gets some good action there, taking out the tailgates car. And then quite possibly the most ridiculous car in this competition, the Cup Noodle car. You know, it's tough to say whether that's actually eliminated in that position. I honestly wasn't sure if this car would ever make a recovery. Shot from the Porsche on Citrus Cyclones pushes the undercutter all the way up underneath one of their own, but no takedowns. 6 eliminations in this first round, and we're gonna take a measurement on Cup Noodle. Cup Noodle is 48 degrees. We're pretty close to that. It is out. 5 points for the Big Shots. Great start for them. Cyclones not too shabby with 4. 3 for Fast Food, an average start. 3 for Hot Pursuit as well. At least they didn't lose all 5. And Heaven's Tailgate also gets 3. Round 2, we're gonna do it all again and see what shakes out. The egg rolls in, it rolls off the track again. I wonder if it can stay on the track, and it does make a recovery after a long roll around. This thing is doing better than I thought it was going to. Porsche takes a shot at Hot Pursuit. The car goes twirling around and makes a nice recovery. And then the vulnerable Porsche gets taken out. Tailgates smack it. It lands on top of that squad car and flips over. First loss of the round. A bunch of good recoveries happen, and then Hot Wings makes a good recovery here, and Cookie goes for a ride, bounces off the egg. Sushi Tuner just about gets a takedown. That was a great recovery for that convertible on the tailgates. And here comes the undercutter for the Cyclones. It does get a takedown right there. There was no parking spot. Hot Pursuit will lose a car, and don't forget, you get a bonus point for any cars that never get eliminated. Important to try to keep cars that haven't yet been eliminated alive. Cup Noodle gets bobbled around a bunch. I actually think if it stayed in this position, that would be considered right side up. I have no idea, but it doesn't matter. It gets thrown off the track and taken out. Big Shots with a big hit, and there goes Puss in Boots, cannot find a place to land, gets taken down. A loss for the Cyclones. Hamburglar hits the line, manages to actually get an elimination, and Petey gets squished by the car for the tailgates, the Birmingham police car landing right on top of him. Don't worry, he'll be back up and running for the next round. Only 4 eliminations in that round, a great round for all 5 teams, and look at that. Hot Pursuit gets one back, 39 degrees. Big Shots, another 5 points. Perfect round. They have not lost a car yet in 2 rounds. Hot Pursuit, a great round for them. Fast Food, also not a bad round, 4 points. And Heaven's Tailgate, also 4 points. Cyclones did the worst in that round, but not bad, 3 points. Round 3, here we go. These teams are cooking. I get the feeling we are looking at a couple of teams at least that are gonna make it into the regular Junkyard Joust. Elimination there for Hot Pursuit. And there's the ridiculous egg vehicle bouncing off the track again, going over to smash into the Viking longboat. It does make a recovery though, and that's what Fast Food needs here. They've got one car that always gets eliminated, and apparently one that always survives. Porsche tries the takedown, does not get it. The gold convertible for Big Shots pushes the Porsche into its own teammate, and look at that magnificent recovery. That car is gold, and it's not even gold colored. Those are the type of recoveries you want to see when you're testing out your team. Sushi Tuner with a nice recovery there too. Big Shots with a takedown attempt on 2 vehicles does not work. Cookie goes spinning. Puss in Boots makes a recovery. You know, I think we only have 1 elimination in this round so far. That's incredible. And that's going to become 2 now because Cup Noodle just came down the track and inexplicably managed to land upside down. Not a position I ever expected to see that thing in. Fast Food may regret the experimental nature of their team. There's the undercut and another takedown. That'll take us up to 3 as the Stutz gets eliminated again. Big Shots finally lose a car. They almost lost 2. Right now that truck is close. And that is the end of the highlights for round 3. 4 eliminations, a great round for all the teams yet again. And there's been some serious competition in these rounds. These teams are looking solid. 5 points for the Cyclones, they needed that. Big Shots finally lose 1 and only get 4 points. Hot Pursuit gets 4. Fast Food also gets 4. I have a feeling if they didn't have Cup Noodle, they'd be doing better. And Heaven's Tailgate also gets 4. Let's see if they can all keep it up in round 4. Hamburglar starting us off in the running order. There's a big hit from the convertible. Does not take out Hamburglar. Another shot there. Nice recovery for Hot Pursuit. This car for the Big Shots is really looking good. It has not been eliminated yet, and it just has a natural recovery ability. And another good recovery right there. That car looking very promising for the tailgates. Here comes that egg for Fast Food rolling into the line of cars like a bowling ball or something. It does manage to stay on the track for the first time. Cliprod attempts a takedown of the egg and does not get it. That thing just has an amazing balance. Honestly, wouldn't surprise me if the officials decide that that car is not going to be able to compete. We shall see. Cookie coming down in one of the tailgate cars, and oh man, Cliprod finally getting eliminated, at least in that position currently. And this could be a potential bonus point loss for the Big Shots. They might not need it. Puss in Boots goes flying, makes a great recovery, and Cookie also heads into the crates for a little nap in the grass. Sushi Tuner with a tackle, and it pays off. A takedown there. Hot Pursuit loses 1 if it stays like that. Sushi Tuner gets the boot and manages to escape the track to safety. The car that did the honors also escaped, and that squad car is desperately trying to make a recovery happen. The undercut for Cyclones does not pay off, at least not yet, but that thing's going to keep trying to undercut, and it does. And there is an attempted takedown, 2 attempted takedowns on the tailgates. Does not work. In fact, the squad car finally makes a recovery. That car is looking very good. Cliprod is close to a recovery. And here comes Cup Noodle to self-eliminate as usual. Well, you can bet if Fast Food don't make it into the main joust, they are going to dump this car and come back and try again. It does reach a height of 8 as it gets thrown off the track by a big hit. Does not make a recovery, of course. Always fun to see a Cup Noodle flying through the air, hanging out next to its egg friend. And the final hit will be from the Mustang squad car for Hot Pursuit. And you know what? I'm looking at the field right now, and I don't see any eliminations except for the Cup Noodle. We are going to have to take a measurement on Cliprod. Cliprod was close, but started to make a recovery and did it. 45 degrees. What a hero. That means that 3 of the teams in this round got 5 points. And you are almost certainly going to see most of these teams at the top of the heap. Fast Food got 4. They still aren't doing bad. Let's take a look at those scores. Big Shots get 23 points, 4 of their cars surviving every round. A stellar performance from the Cyclones. Heaven's Tailgate and Hot Pursuit gets them 19 points, and Fast Food rolling in at 18. The standings after 2 heats, the Big Shots are in the lead with 23 points. Magic Kingdom in second with 20, and then we've got 3 teams at 19, and Fast Food at 18. And we are already halfway through. It's time for 5 more teams. Stranger Dangerous starting us off, a team of all vans. The Mint Conditions, this time going all mint colored. They should have been in last season. Hired Muscle going all muscle machines this time around. Firebird Fury with some Camaros. Of course, they are built on the same chassis. And Wizard Apocalypse, an odd team that arrives exactly when they mean to. A couple of Joust fans that came in with the Firebirds hanging out in the Viking Longship. And now we're going to row our way right into round 1, starting off with the mint conditions. One of the nicer vans on Stranger Danger, definitely a 70s van there. But then it is immediately eliminated on that hit from the muscle car. Just barely goes over and is finished. Black van for Stranger Danger takes a shot at that Camaro. And then Wizard Apocalypse with the undercut, and look at the van make a nice recovery. That car continues to get more undercutting, does not get any eliminations, still just 1 on the round. Some good recoveries here by some of these vehicles. Cookie goes flying out of that muscle machine, but Petey stays on board. And then Petey goes flying, and the muscle machine makes a nice recovery. Petey also, but one of the other muscle machine cars wipes out. Big hit from that truck you might remember from the head-on collision videos that I made on this channel a long time ago. Cars smashing into each other head-on. It was quite a sight. We got some good height in those matches. There's a stack forming here. Wizard Apocalypse sends down that strange futuristic jet thing. I'm not even sure it has wheels. There's an elimination. Stranger Danger gonna lose another van, and that laser blazer is going over for Wizard Apocalypse. Mint conditions gets a takedown on Hired Muscle. That Camino goes over and is toast. Here comes a heavy hit from the Michelin van, and it takes out a Camaro. I think that's one of the Camaros. Pretty sure. Good survive there by that dragster on mint conditions. And speaking of mint conditions, they get a takedown there. Hired Muscle loses another one. This is not looking good for Hired Muscle right now. Here comes a shot from an actual Firebird. Tries to take out that truck for mint conditions. Cannot quite do it, at least not yet. And there is a little help and a massive undercut from the vet van. Look at the recovery by that Firebird. Man, that car is on fire. And great that Stranger Danger has a van that can undercut. Very effective. Mint conditions loses one. A lot of shuffling on this hit. It looks like the Michelin van may have been eliminated on that one. Stranger Danger now losing some serious cars here. That was a pretty devastating round 1 for all of these teams. 10 losses. Let's see who's getting points and who isn't. Mint Conditions came out of that with 4. Impressive after all those eliminations. And so did Wizard Apocalypse. Good performance by them. Firebird Fury got 3. That's about average. Stranger Danger got 3 eliminations, only 2 points. It's going to be a tall order. And the same story for Hired Muscle, only 2 points. An uphill climb for a couple of these teams, but certainly not out of the realm of possibility. One of the Firebird Fury cars is just about sideways up front. We'll see if it settles down. Looks like the doors are open in that 70s van now. I wonder if that'll help. Certainly looks like a palace inside that van. A lot of fun. That's probably a waterbed back there. Camaro takes a shot, tries to destroy the interior of the van. Doesn't work. And then it gets eliminated for its efforts. Completely thrown off the track, up and over. Firebirds have 2 losses already in this round. Wizard Apocalypse sends down one of their futuristic cars, and it gets the takedown. And then a huge hit from the Michelin van, smashing into the line, knocking a couple cars off. No eliminations though. It looks like that van survived. Could be the doors. Maybe if those had been open on the first run, it'd be a different story. Undercut by Wizard Apocalypse, and it works. Hired Muscle is gonna lose a car. They can't really afford this. The dragster for mint conditions attempts to wrestle with the car in front of it. Can't do anything. However, if you look down the line, look at that. Firebird Fury might have just got one back. Van plows into the line. No eliminations on that hit. But there you go. A full recovery up front. And that is great news for the Fury. Mint conditions send down the truck. It tries to get some takedowns. Doesn't happen. The Camino makes a recovery. And then one of the heavier vans for Stranger Danger tries to get some action and succeeds. The truck is taken out for mint conditions. Does not take out its own teammate. Big chunk of something fell off of somebody there. Probably that truck. A Firebird plows into the line and maybe got a takedown of the mint conditions dragster. Yeah, that looks like it's close. But then the mint conditions send down their wagon and it looks like they recovered the dragster. Then the wagon takes a hit from the undercutting vet van. Man, that thing is nasty. Doesn't get the takedown, but an impressive thing, a van being able to undercut. Special thanks to Sicken for sending me that van a long time ago. Sicken has been a longtime sponsor of this show on Patreon, and he is one of the big reasons that I've been able to do it this long. Thank you, Sicken, and all my patrons. Only 5 eliminations in that round. Wizard Apocalypse with a perfect run. Stranger Danger gets 4 points. That turned out pretty good for them. Mid Conditions also picks up 4. And so does Firebird Fury. That Camaro has gotten eliminated both times. Hired Muscle only gets 3. Their hope is diminishing here. But they are not out of it yet. A couple of good rounds, and they might be able to keep with it. This is not a great way to start, though. An elimination right off the bat. Hired Muscle in big trouble. Bunch of cars line up. Cookie gets booted, flies off into the distance. No eliminations on that hit. So far, that convertible has been a standout for Hired Muscle. Petey managed to stay in the car this time. The line crumbles on a big hit from the Michelin van, but somehow everybody stays alive. And then the dragster comes in, tries to take out the Camino, and does. Hired Muscle are almost certainly finished now. They're gonna have to go back to the drawing board for next season. An unusual vehicle for Wizard Apocalypse tries to get a takedown here on Firebird Fury, can't do it. And then Mint Conditions send down the big truck and take that vehicle out. The 27 cents did not help. This time that Camaro on Firebird Fury self-eliminates. That thing has been out 3 rounds in a row now. If they make it to the joust, they're gonna want to dump that car. Here comes the vet van with an amazing undercut of an undercutter. That thing flies up to a height of 7 and then lands it perfectly, just like a gymnast or something. What a great recovery by that car. Great to see an undercutter with that much agility. And now the vet van in danger of taking out its own teammate. And there's the big hit, and it doesn't take out the teammate. The van recovers, and the dragster for Mint Conditions is eliminated. The wagon comes in trying to get some revenge, does not manage to do it. Here comes a heavy van with a big hit. Who will be affected by this? Looks like pretty much everybody recovered on that hit. Definitely a close call for that car on Hired Muscle, but probably inconsequential at this point. 6 eliminations in that round. And I think we know where most of the eliminations came from. Stranger Danger rocked it. 5 points. Mint Conditions pick up 4. Firebird Fury also gets 4. Wizard Apocalypse with 4. And Hired Muscle with only 2. They are definitely finished. Round 4, here we go. Last chance for these teams to pick up some points and try to make it into the joust. Boom, a nice hit there from the Mint Conditions, but 2 solid recoveries and good balance. Cookie and Petey come down, managed to both stay in the car this time. Firebird Fury attempts a takedown. That is definitely the best car on Hired Muscle this time around. They're gonna wanna keep that when they come back to the minor leagues. Black van with an attempted takedown. It's not happening. That is another really good car for recoveries. The Laser Blazer taken out. Wizard Apocalypse are gonna lose one. That thing has gotten eliminated now a couple of times. And then that Speedy Firebird flies into the shot, just throws its whole car body into all the other cars, but they both recover. Pretty good recoveries. That is a fast car. Again, the van throws itself into the vehicles, and they both somehow recover. This is looking like a pretty good round for points, potentially. So far, at least. The undercutter for Wizard Apocalypse comes in and does manage to take out one of the vans, and then somehow gets locked back into the track. And then Mint Conditions lose one because of their own wagon, but mostly because of that undercutter. Here comes the Muscle Machine's Camino. It does manage to get a takedown. The undercutter for Wizard Apocalypse taken out. They will not get a bonus point for that car. As usual, that Camaro gets annihilated. The vet van with a nice takedown. That thing is looking vicious. And that weird hovering vehicle with no wheels gets a lot of undercutting right there, but no takedowns. Nice landing by the vet van. And then the Camino topples over sideways, cannot escape. Hired Muscle hoping these wider cars would be able to stay on the track, but they do not, and they get taken out pretty easily. There's another loss. 7 eliminations in the final round of Heat 3. Let's see who's getting those points. Stranger Danger pick up 4. Good showing for them. The Mint Conditions also get 4. Another 4 points for Firebird Fury. And Hired Muscle actually got 3 points this time. Wizard Apocalypse gets 3 as well. Pretty good round for everybody. Let's see how it shakes out. Well, I've got bad news for all 5 of the teams that were in this heat. Nobody is making it in. Mint Conditions and Wizard Apocalypse got so close. Good showing by Stranger Danger and Firebird Fury, but nobody got the 19 points that they would currently need to make it into the Junkyard Joust. Maybe we'll see them again competing in the minor leagues. Definitely some potential in these teams. We've got 5 more left though. We got to find out who's going to make it. Here are the teams. The Alt F40s, a team of Ferraris. A team we haven't seen since Season 3, Alice in Thunderland. The Turbolts, they've appeared once and only made it 2 rounds before being entirely eliminated. A bubble-themed team, the Bubble Bursters. And the Devastation Wagons didn't make it out of the qualifiers last season. They should have had this blue-themed team last season. We are already in motion. Alice in Thunderland starting us off with the Cheshire Cat. There is one of the Ferraris, and I think Cookie was riding down on that thing somehow. Apparently on the back engine. Baby on the track, she's gonna get a smack. And there she goes! Baby Cookie flies off into the distance. We've got a 3-car line, and now Cookie's gonna take a little rest. Looks like a soft patch over there. The first Devastation Wagon takes a shot at the Jetsons car and at that Porsche, but does not get an elimination. These teams are gonna have to put in a stellar performance with very few eliminations if they want to make it into the main show. A couple of good recoveries there, and then Magnum PI is taken down, 45 cents on the ground. Baby Petey riding down on the spoiler. Wow, he went flying on that one. Bounces off the crates, and no eliminations. Good survive by the Porsche and by the Caterpillar. Alice coming down for Alice in Thunderland. She flips up and over, not off the track though, so not all hope is lost. And a couple of hits later, she does manage to flip back over and recover. That's good news for Alice in Thunderland. One of the weirder cars I've ever found, the Butt Detective slams into the line. Good recovery for Alt F40s and the Porsche. Detective though, not so good. Mad Mike boots the butt and it makes a recovery. Total perfect landing, spinning right side up. Alt F40s have a couple undercutters on the team and they take advantage of that to eliminate the mushroom car for Alice in Thunderland. Mad Mike escapes. BB-8 makes a beeline for that Porsche and flips it over. Good takedown. Nice job there. Did not expect a sort of undercut from that thing. And then BB-8 takes to the sky. A bashing hit from Devastation Wagons. BB-8 tries to find somewhere to land and does it. Hits a height of 7 before plummeting back to the ground and landing in a way that will end up being less than 90 degrees. That is not sideways. Here comes a truck for Alice in Thunderland. Oh, a self-elimination. A slow slide to oblivion. Another unusual car for Bubble Bursters. That one tries to take out one of the Porsches, and the Porsche has a nice recovery. Devastation Wagons try to return the favor, flipping it up and over, and a pretty good recovery there. And that'll do it for the highlights of round 1. And I've got good news if you're a fan of these teams. They have started out well, only 4 eliminations. If they can keep it up, they'll be in good shape. 5 points for Bubble Bursters. 5 points for Devastation Wagons. 4 points for Alt F40. 4 points for the Turbolts. And Alice in Thunderland, the biggest hit in that round, losing 2. 3 points. Onwards and downwards into round 2, starting us off with Alt F40. Then we have some cars lining up. Turbolts take a pot shot at the Jetsons car, but it makes a great recovery. But Detective hip checks Alice and knocks Alice over, but a nice recovery there. Turbolts, though, will lose one. Magnum PI storms into the field, and Butt Detective goes over sideways. Its first elimination for Bubble Bursters. Porsche survives. A lot of cars backing down the line, which is a good thing for survival. 2 eliminations there by the Turbolts. And then the favor is returned by Devastation Wagons, taking out that Porsche. The Magic Mushroom car smashes into Mad Mike, and wow, that is a close one right there. Looks like a survive for the moment, no eliminations on that hit. Bubble Bursters need all their cars to survive in this round. They've had a couple eliminations here. And they get a survive right there. A hit from the Porsche takes out the Mushroom vehicle. And that'll do it for round 2. There were 6 eliminations, a little bit more than the first round, but we still have some perfect records. The Ferraris, 5 points. Devastation Wagons get 5. Alice in Thunderland, only 3. And the Turbolts, only 3. Same for the Bubble Bursters. All these teams definitely still in it as we plunge into round 3. Cheshire Cat with a thumping hit, but cannot get an elimination. A little Porsche Ferrari teamwork right there. The Jetsons car gets taken out. First elimination of round 3. Alice forced off the track and down the rabbit hole. Some damage on that hit. Looks like that Ferrari got beat up. I think the spoiler broken off. Actually, the whole hatch is coming off. One of the Porsches takes a shot at that vehicle for Bubble Bursters, and it does not make a recovery. Wow, that was so close. It looked like it was going to make it. It didn't. Bubble Bursters are in trouble here. They've already got 2 down. More damage to that Ferrari. Then another Ferrari comes in to try to save the day with an undercut. Takes out the Mushroom Mobile. Cannot take out Mad Mike, however. But Mad Mike does get taken out when the Porsche comes down, and there's a little double undercutting going on. Massive hit from that wagon. The damaged Ferrari survives somehow, but the Bubble Bursters have lost yet another car. Here comes the Caterpillar, smashes into the line. No eliminations, good recoveries. And then the Caterpillar is taken out by Magnum PI. Favor returned by the Butt Detective. Magnum PI taken down by a butt. Then the detective is squeezed off the track and doesn't quite make a recovery. Wow, Bubble Bursters are doomed. Not a single car of theirs has survived the round, except now BB-8. Looks like BB-8 will make it out of the match. But yeah, that was a tough round. 7 eliminations, the most of this heat. And we're taking a measurement. We might add an additional one. Caterpillar is below 45, managed to bring it back, and will survive for Alice in Thunderland. Turbolts, 5 points. They needed that. Alt F40, 4 points. Alice in Thunderland, 4 points. The Devastation Wagons also get 4. And yeah, the Bubble Bursters, only 1 point. And they're not going to have much of a chance for bonus points here now either. Round 4, one more round for these teams to try to add to their totals. They are going to need a good round. Turbolts start out okay, but the Jetsons cars may be eliminated. Here comes Cheshire Cat. Oh, and there goes the Porsche. This is not a good start. The Jetsons car makes a recovery, but I don't see much of a chance for Bubble Bursters at this point. The Ferrari with a nice agile escape from that Porsche. And then the back end of that pink Ferrari goes hurling into the sky, completely broken off. Kind of looks like that car might be more deadly without it anyway. BB-8 gets a bump from Alice in Thunderland and does manage to pull it off. A little wobbly, but survived. Mad Mike eliminates that truck for Alice in Thunderland. That truck definitely a weak point for them. And then a Porsche tries to take out Magnum and does it. Magnum has been eliminated most of the times down. Definitely the weak car on the Alt F40s. And now that Ferrari with its hood open cannot get the undercut on Devastation Wagons and is pushed over, maybe taken out. Now definitely taken out. And oof, Bubble Burster is going to lose one there too. There's the yellow Ferrari. That thing has not been eliminated yet, and it is going to be a bonus point for the Alt F40s. 5 eliminations in that round, not too bad, but will it be enough? 3 points for the Alt F40s, 4 points for Alice. Turbolts manage 4, as do the Bubble Bursters. And the Devastation Wagons put on the most solid performance they've had for a long time. Let's take a look at the scores from this heat. Devastation Wagons top the list with 23. Alt F40, 19. Turbolts, Alice in Thunderland, and Bubble Bursters. I don't think they're gonna make it. As far as who is going to the qualifiers, it will be the Devastation Wagons and the Big Shots with 23 each. Very promising. Magic Kingdom at 20. And then look at what happened. Oops, all qualified indeed. 4 teams had 19, so all of them will go to the qualifiers to battle. That's 7 teams instead of 5, but I think there will be space. Coming up next Sunday, a very special event. I'm gonna joust the 80th anniversary Hot Wheels Red Lines, or at least most of them. The GoFundMe was mostly successful, so now we're gonna watch those cars joust in a very special event. Keep your eyes out for that. Should be coming out next Sunday. And then after that, the brand new season starts, and we'll get to see some of these teams in action. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for watching. See you next time.